DC has so far released 11 movies in its extended universe, and there are no plans to slow down anytime soon. Some movie critics have even claimed that 2022 is set to be the year of DC, with no less than 5 movies set to drop over the next year, which is huge for any studio. Today, we're looking at why these upcoming DC movies are so highly anticipated, so stay right where you are. First up, where are we up to in the franchise? As we just mentioned, DC has so far released 11 movies in its franchise since 2013's Man of Steel got the ball rolling. So if you're thinking about watching the movies in chronological order, this Henry Cavill-led one is where you should begin. There was then a brief hiatus for the studio before they released 2 movies in 2016, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad. The wheel started to turn a little more frequently after 2016, as just a year later, they dropped both Wonder Woman and Justice League, the latter being the lowest performing DC movie to date, numbers-wise. 2018 was a better year for the studio and saw the highest grossing DC movie to date with the first Aquaman movie. The sequel drops later this year, which featured Khal Drogo himself, of Game of Thrones fame, Jason Momoa. 2019 brought the Zachary Levi-led Shazam before the studio dropped 2 movies in 2020 before the COVID pandemic truly kicked in with Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman 1984. DC followed up a decent 2020 with another solid year last year, even in the midst of a pandemic, when they dropped Zack Snyder's Justice League and The Suicide Squad. But 2022 is set to be a record-breaking year for the company, as they plan to drop no less than 5 new movies, and we can't wait. What is your favorite DC movie so far? Let us know below. Next, we're talking DC League of Super Pets. Stay with us. The DC League of Super Pets is set to drop this May and is set to be a much lighter addition to the DCEU. Animation is no new concept for DC, and the film is set to introduce a completely new sort of superhero, as it will focus on Superman's dog, Krypto, and the pets of the other Justice League superheroes who have been kidnapped by Lex Luthor. As well as being a big year for DC, 2022 is also set to be big for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as he will be starring in 2 DC movies. Johnson will play Krypto the Superdog and is supported by longtime collaborator Kevin Hart. Joining Johnson and Hart, we have Diego Luna, who shot to fame as Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo in Narcos, and The Office legend John Krasinski. It is thought the DC League of Super Pets will be aimed at a younger audience. People said it was unlikely they would make an animated talking pet movie outside of the main story, but it seems they were willing to take a chance on this one. And if the cast is anything to go by, it's sure to be a hit. Are you looking forward to this one? We're talking Black Adam next, so stay with us. July 29th, we'll see the release of the second Johnson movie on this list, with the release of the highly anticipated Black Adam. The movie is based around the title character, Black Adam, who is given powers of the gods, but then imprisoned. He is then freed from his tomb in search of justice. Black Adam is a central villain in the Shazam branch of the DCEU, and the character was set to appear in the 2017 Shazam movie before the studio decided to divide the story to focus on Black Adam's backstory. As well as Johnson, Aldous Hodge will appear as Hawkman, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, Quintessa Swindle as Cyclone, and Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. The film was first conceived back in 2007, even before the MCU, and back at DC Fandom in 2020, Dwayne Johnson promised fans that the balance of power in the DCU was about to shift, and fans cannot wait. Will you be booking tickets to see Black Adam in theaters when it drops this July? We're discussing The Flash next. Don't go anywhere. This one has been in the works for almost a decade and sees Barry Allen brought to the big screen after the success of the TV series. The movie will see our boy Barry head back in time to prevent the murder of his mother, but apparently his meddling with time brings with it dire consequences? Who knew? The movie was announced in 2014, and it was scheduled to release in 2018, but saw numerous delays after writers and directors dropped out to the old classic creative differences. Ezra Miller will feature as Barry Allen, and he will be joined by a who's who of Hollywood royalty, from Michael Keaton to Ben Affleck. Also on the cast is Ron Livingston, who first shot to fame in 2001's Band of Brothers, and Michael Shannon, who appeared in Eminem's 8 Mile in the same year. This one is set to drop towards the end of this year, with a November 4th release date. Filming for The Flash began last March in England and wrapped in October. Are you excited to see The Flash? Which Hollywood actor are you most looking forward to seeing? Next up, it's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Stay tuned. 2018's Aquaman was a surprise hit for the studio and ended up grossing north of $1 billion worldwide, outperforming any DC film to date. And there are high hopes for the sequel too, so we hope that returning director James Wan will be able to bring back some of the magic he brought for the first. The movie would see a large-scale movie, which will see Black Manta return, with Orm also making an appearance again. The movie will be going up against Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, so it will be interesting to see which one outperforms the other. Not only will the Aquaman sequel have to go up against Wakanda Forever, but it will also have to contend with the release of the highly anticipated Avatar 2, which has been more than a decade in the works. So November 2022 will certainly be a big month for blockbusters. Obviously, Jason Momoa will be returning in the lead role, and he will be joined by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, as well as Patrick Wilson. There are a whole host of Hollywood heavy hitters also making an appearance in the Aquaman sequel, including Dolph Lundgren, Nicole Kidman, Amber Heard, and Willem Dafoe. Are you psyched for this one? And last but not least, it's Batgirl. Fans of the Batman universe will be delighted to learn that Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, will be featured in her very own movie, following the character's removal from the Birds of Prey movie she was rumored to be in. It had been suggested that she would appear alongside Margot Robbie's character of Harley Quinn, but then it was revealed the studios were developing the character in her own film, which was announced back in 2016. In 2017, Joss Whedon was slated to write the movie, but left a year later after suffering from writer's block, for want of a better phrase. People also complained that a male director was also set to direct a female-led movie, so in came Christina Hodson, who had also worked on the aforementioned Birds of Prey. Those complaints seem something akin to double standards when you look at movies like Zero Dark 30, an army movie featuring almost all male actors, directed by Kathryn Bigelow. Set to star as Batgirl is Leslie Grace, who also appeared in last year's In the Heights. She will be joined by J.K. Simmons, who starred in the super successful Whiplash a few years back, and will be playing Commissioner Gordon again. Brendan Fraser, who has recently returned from a career hiatus, will appear as Firely, a psychopathic fire starter, and Michael Keaton will also be reprising his role as his beloved Batman. Filming took place in Glasgow, Scotland, which was previously used to depict Gotham in The Flash and this year's The Batman. Which one of the movies set to release this year are you most excited for? Give us your thoughts below. And finally, ever wondered how the MCU and DCEU establish canon? Stay tuned to find out. It can be a difficult thing to establish canon in this day and age, and each person has their own take on what should or shouldn't be considered canon. James Gunn, who has worked on Guardians of the Galaxy amongst others, has stopped by to clarify. The writer is often on hand to debunk myths or correct Twitter users on whatever theories they are floating that particular week, and he recently attempted to clear up the general understanding about studio approval on establishing storytelling canon within the Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC Extended Universe when he was asked about the process behind it. He said, "People overestimate the interaction of both DC and Marvel around this stuff. Most notes have to do with making the story better, except in extremely rare situations, such as a legal situation or if there's a contradiction in another project I don't know about, it doesn't come up." Well, there you have it. As always, thanks for tuning in today, and remember to swing by next time for some more fun and games. Also, don't forget to like and share our video, and if you don't already subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Bye guys!